Namaskar, and welcome. Today, we are diving into a really profound and timeless idea, that for all the apparent differences that scatter us across the globe, human society is, at its core, one, singular, and indivisible. So, let's explore this powerful concept together.
So this is really our jumping-off point. What an incredible thought, right? It suggests there's this deep internal drive within all of us, a constant push to find unity through our amazing diversity, not in spite of it.
Here's the journey we're going to take in this explainer. First, we'll look at this world of differences that we see all around us. Then, we'll go way back and trace our shared scientific origin. After that, we'll take a hard look at the artificial walls we built, figure out how to find our common thread, and finally, imagine what it truly means to be one human nation. I mean, when you look around the world, the diversity is just undeniable, and it's beautiful. You see different skin colors, different features, so many cultures and traditions. It's so staggering that you have to ask a fundamental question. Are these differences that seem to define us really more important than the things that we all share?
This is the core mystery we need to solve. To understand who we are now, we have to look at where we came from. Were we always separate groups, or do we all trace back to a single origin? Let's see what the science of ethnology has to tell us.
And you know what? Science gives us a surprisingly clear answer. It paints a picture of a single shared origin for every single person on this planet. The scientific record is pretty solid on this. If we rewind the clock about 1 million years ago, our earliest known ancestors, Australopithecus, were on the scene. Over vast stretches of time, they evolved through stages like Homo erectus into, you guessed it, Homo sapiens, our direct ancestors. And from that one single starting point, they spread out across the entire globe.
The source material gives us this absolutely beautiful way to think about it. Imagine a single mountain spring, and from it, many rivers are born. Now these rivers, they flow through different lands, they have different names, but their origin, it's the exact same. This, it argues, is precisely how we should see human diversity.
Okay, so if we all come from the same place, why do we look so different? Well, the answer is one word: adaptation. As early humans settled in different climates, their bodies just brilliantly adapted to survive. In hotter places, more melanin meant darker skin, which is great protection from the sun. In colder climates, lighter skin helped absorb more precious vitamin D. These aren't signs of one group being better than another, it's just nature's genius at work.
Okay, so we've seen that our physical differences all come from a shared scientific place. But what about all the other divisions, the ones that cause so much conflict? Well, now we're going to see how these aren't products of nature at all, but artificial walls that we, human beings, have built ourselves.
I mean, think about it. Throughout history, we've created these really powerful dividing lines based on race, religion, where you were born, and so on. But the core argument here is that every single one of these is an artificial construct that hides our fundamental unity. Let's start breaking a few of them down.
When it comes to the idea of race, the source is just completely unequivocal. This whole idea of purity of blood, it's meaningless. Scientific research shows constant migration and intermingling of peoples all throughout history. No group has ever been a pure, isolated stock. So the bottom line is, these racial categories we use, they're social ideas, not biological realities.
Now, this is a really fascinating distinction the text makes between what it calls religion and dharma. It suggests religions are often man-made systems with rituals that can sometimes create an us versus them mentality. Dharma, on the other hand, is presented as something much more universal, the underlying principle of ethics and purpose that unites everyone, no matter what they believe. It's like the common spiritual ground beneath all the separate buildings of religion.
And what about nationality? Wow, this question is so provocative. Think about it. One day, you live in a town and you're told you belong to one country. The next day, someone draws a line on a map and suddenly you belong to another country. Your whole nationality changes with the stroke of a pen. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? How fundamental are these borders, really?
All right, so if these divisions are artificial, what do we do? How do we move past them and actually build a society that reflects our real unity? The source doesn't just tear things down, it actually offers a constructive way forward.
The path forward has 3 big interconnected steps. First, you have to deal with the material world by getting rid of huge economic gaps. You can't have real fraternity when some are starving and others live in luxury.
Second, you have to nurture unifying feelings by focusing on our shared human heritage. And third, you need to cultivate a universal spiritual outlook, a cosmic ideology that just goes beyond all these little boundaries.
And this brings us to what the text calls the ultimate unifying force, the indispensable factor, spirituality. The idea is to nurture a feeling where all of humanity starts to see itself as one family, and the entire universe as its home. This cosmic perspective is presented as the only truly durable foundation for a lasting unity.
So, let's bring this all together now. We've gone on quite a journey, haven't we? From our diverse looks all the way back to a single origin, and from our many divisions to a singular, unifying vision for our future.
Ultimately, when you pull on all these threads, from science, from history, from philosophy, they all lead back to one single profound truth. The human family is and always has been one. Our job isn't to create this unity, but simply to wake up to it.
I want to end with this absolutely beautiful and poetic thought. It reminds us that we are all children of the same earth, nourished by the same planet, living under the same sun and moon. We are one race, the human race. And maybe, just maybe, reflecting on that simple, profound truth is the very first step toward making our indivisible society a living reality.